Welcome back. Now it's time to create our walls. But before that, let's customize our interface a little bit. Take note, this is my personal preference. So you can arrange them the way you want. I want to see my object and layer property all the time. I'd like to put them in both sides of the window. You can move them by dragging the top portion of panel. What I have here is a sample floor plan that we'll be doing. When you select object, its property will be displayed here, such as colors, line types, line weight. You better check this panel as they are very useful. Are you ready? Now type L command, then hit spacebar. We will be using line command for now, as I would like to show the difference when working with polyline. I use object snap tracking to align our first point by hovering over the corner. After hitting spacebar, left click somewhere in the model space, then slowly moving your cursor to the top. You can turn on the ortho if you need to. Now, type this value. Remember, we are using millimeter in the sample project. So, 6.6 meters is equivalent to 6,600 millimeters. After you type the value, move your cursor to the right. Then type in the next value. You can repeat this process to input all the measurements. When you reach the last, you can just type C for close command instead of typing the last value. Now, select one of the line you have just created. As you see, we can select each of the line individually. Notice when I select the sample plan, it is selected as a one object. I will let you see the advantages in a bit. Back in out plan. Let's make the wall thickness. There are so many ways to do this. This is just one of them. Offset command. Type O, then hit spacebar. Type your desired wall thickness, in our case 150 or 6 inches wall. Then select each line, then move your cursor towards inside of the house. Then hit left click. Autocad remembers the last value, so you don't need to type them again and again. All you need to do is to select a line, then left click inside portion of the house. Repeat this to each of the line. Now, it's time to trim or extend the unwanted lines. Type TR double space combo. Then select the unwanted line. You can also watch my tutorial series AutoCAD Basics commands for further explanation. This is a tip. Instead of using trim, a faster way of trimming lines like this is to use Fillet Command. Type F spacebar R combo. Then enter the value of 0. Then select each line like so. What happens if you enter a value other than 0? It will make a curve. Obviously, that is not what we want. Go ahead. Trim and extend those lines. Now, let's go back to why it is faster to use a polyline. Since polyline is one object, we can offset the entire interior line in just one command. Can you see that? You should by now see the difference between the line and polyline. Being mindful of that difference, you can avoid redundancy in your work, which could save you a tremendous amount of time. Instead of offsetting and trimming each of the lines, that is time consuming. Use polyline instead, as you can make wall thickness in one command like so. You can convert your lines into polylines. Just type J for join command and select the lines you want to convert. Double check if it is close. Then go ahead. Use the offset command to make the wall thickness. Now, let's make our interior walls. But first let's create a grid line. Type XL then hit spacebar. Select either vertical or horizontal in the options below. In this case, we will choose first the horizontal. First, select the topmost wall of the house. You should see by now your first grid. Take note. You are still in the XLine command by now. Don't press escape. To make the next grid line, type TK, then hit the spacebar, then go back to the topmost wall, and pick your reference. Now, this is an opportunity for you to specify the distance from your preferred starting point. After calling track command, pick a point from the topmost wall of the house, then move your cursor down a little bit and type 1200. Then hit the spacebar. You should by now create your second grid line. Repeat this process to complete all the grids. Then, you can place your grid line in the proper layers. You may choose darker colors. After the horizontal grid, do the vertical grid as well. Call the XLine command again. Don't forget to choose V in your option. Let's make a service area here. We should lock first the grid layer. By doing so, we won't be able to move and delete objects in the layer. We should break the polyline first. Type BR, then hit spacebar. If your line is behind the other line, you can send them to the front or back. Then make a break like so. After that, we can move the other side of the wall by using the stretch command. Type S, spacebar C, combo. Then just select the portion of the wall you want to move like so. Align it to the grid. Reconnect the exterior line by making new polyline like so, and don't forget to rejoin them. You can rebuild the interior wall as well, by making polyline again like this. But deleting it, and making a new offset is a faster way. Let's make an interior wall in this area. You can use any drawing tool you'd like to use. This time, I will try to use rectangle command. You can use polyline or line as well. Then make use of the track command to specify the distance you'd like the wall to be placed. Then use the trim command to delete excess lines like so. This time, I will try to use rectangle command. And copy it to the location I want. And then again of course use trim to delete unwanted lines. Rejoin all the lines, by calling the join command. S, spacebar, C combo. Use the stretch command to resize the walls. Remember, deselect all lines you do not want to be stretched. Double check if they are indeed joint. Let's edit this room here. Offset 150. Double check if they are indeed joint. You can also use the stretch command to move a wall like this. From now on, I will be using the same commands and techniques in making these remaining walls. You should already know how to use them. By the way, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Try to explore the offset command, as it also has another option called offset through. This is useful when you don't know the offset value. By the way, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Now, one advantage of keeping your poly line always joined is you won't get weird hatches like this. Oftentimes, if your walls are not properly jointed, you will need to do some extra fixing work to get the hatch right. Great! You have just explored line command, join command, XLine command, polyline command, track command, copy command, move command, stretch command. I hope I will see you in part 4. Thanks.